Matsyayana says, ask anything, I'll teach. Then mother says, from the birth you are a brahmachari, I know. Because I brought you up. Then teach me the science of karma. If you can teach that, I can believe that you know everything. I can believe you know everything. Because you are from the age, from the beginning you are a brahmachari. Teach me. Then he starts teaching the whole science. There comes the book, Kama Sutra. It is taught to the mother. So when a real mother happens, you will experience the dimension of beloved in her. When a real beloved happens, you will experience the dimension of mother in her. That is where Uma says, that is why Uma says, we are not competing with each other, we are complementing each other. We are complementing each other. In the deep roots, of enlightenment, in the, the deepest layers of your beings, only when you reach to that level, these secrets will be revealed to you as an experience. But we neither reach the peak depth of motherhood, nor reach the depth of womanhood. That is the reason we feel both are contradicting each other. Understand one thing, on the planet Earth there can be no such thing called contradiction. There is nothing called contradiction. If you feel that there is something contradicting, means you don't know the missing link, that's all. You have not gone to that depth to understand, to catch the missing link. Otherwise, there is nothing which contradicts on the planet Earth. The whole existence is complementing each other. It can never contradict each other. There is no contradiction on the planet Earth. These are all ultimate rules. Understand? There is no contradiction in the planet Earth. Whatever you think as contradiction, be very clear, you have not gone to the depth to realize the missing link, to experience the missing link. That's why you think there is something contradiction. There is something contradicting each other. No. On the planet Earth, in the whole universe, there is nothing contradicting each other. Everything complements each other. Spiritual life and material life, life and death, whatever you think is contradicting each other, everything complements each other. When you see from superficial level, this peak and this peak contradicts each other. When you go to the depth, both of them complement each other. When you understand, when you catch the missing link, you will understand they complement each other. They are deeply connected. From a superficial level, they are competing with each other. Each one is trying to be taller than other. They are competing with each other. If you go deep and see the root, they are complementing each other. They are deeply connected, one and the same. Only in the superficial level, all the contradictions. If you go deep, you will understand both are just same. They are not two different things. Go to the depth, you will understand they are the same root. They are one and the same. They are not two different things. They are not contradicting with each other. The more you grow superficially, more you will find contradictions. Why to bother about the contradiction of peak and peak? The contradiction between tree and tree. If you go into the more superficial way, contradiction between tree and tree, contradiction between branch and branch, contradiction between leaf and leaf. The more superficial you go, more contradictions are created. The more deep you go, more complementariness is understood. If you reach the zero level, you will understand both are one and the same. If you reach much deeper, there is no need even to say the word both are one and the same. If you enter into the core of the planet Earth, you will see just same. Not even one and the same. Not even non-dualistic. Just Advaita. Just Advaita. Even the word non-dualistic is not a complete translation of Advaita. It's not complete translation. You can't translate. Advaita means neither Dvaita nor non-Dvaita, nor Advaita. Neither Dvaita nor Advaita is Advaita. But non-dualistic word cannot be given that explanation. It's not so deep. Okay. Advaita, you understand then? Dvaita Advaita Vivarjita Advaita. Dvaita Advaita Vivarjita Advaita. Dvaita is in superficial level, Advaita in zero level, ground level. When you go to the core, Dvaita Advaita Vivarjita Advaita. Just isness, not even sameness. When you use the word same, immediately the other word comes into your mind. Then difference. Here, not even the word same, just isness. When you are in easiness, you are in easiness. Tathata, easiness is the reality. Because this is the only ease. All other things are was or will. This is the only ease. Ease is only the ease. All other things are was or will. This is the only ease. The lessons given to the ASP people, lessons given to the NSP people, lessons given in the Himalaya strip is totally different. You understand? ASP is not wrong. That much only can be said for that group. NSP is not wrong. That much only can be said for that group. This is not something new. This much can be delivered to you. I am not changing, you are changing. Okay. I am not changing, you are changing. So, according to your changes, teaching changes. In the bridge, one end is there, it is eternal, Nitya. The other end is moving. So, according to the other end, new bridges are built. When the other end changes, new bridges are built. When the distance is too much, then we make the bridge called ASP, small. Because when the length is too much, we have to make it small. When the distance is little less, then we make 4-lane, NSP, 4 days program. When the distance is almost less than half a mile, then we make a big, clear bridge. ASP is hanging bridge, NSP is few pillars bridge, and the Himalayas is straight road. We just fill the whole area and make a road so that complete traffic can be opened. So, when according to the maturity of the person, Visishta Advaita, Dvaita, then Advaita, then Advaita, Dvaita, Vivarjita, Advaita. Dvaita, Advaita, Vivarjita, Advaita. So according to the maturity of the person, message is delivered. Even if you reach the peak of the jnana, you will be only at the feet of a devotion. You will be only at the feet of devotion. These rishis, there's a beautiful story. Let me narrate from Bhagavata. All these great rishis, they go to Vrindavan to see what is happening. What is happening? This young fellow has gone there and so much of noise and singing and dancing is going on from that forest. What is happening? So much of noise is created just from that forest. Let's go and see what's going on there. When all these rishis came down, they wanted to see these gopis. The gopikas did not even care for them. Did not even wanted to bow down. Then these rishis are asking, demanding. They are asking on gopis, don't you know we are rishis, we have come down, you are not respecting us? Gopis, the gopikas, they say, what you guys are doing? Rishis means what? What do you do usually? No, we sit and meditate 24 hours on the feet of the Lord. Continuously meditate towards God. We sit and meditate at His feet. We meditate continuously His feet. We try to establish Him in our heart. Gopis just laugh. Is it so? Come, we are playing with Him. We'll show you. For years together, you do tapasya just to hold His feet in your heart. Meditating with so much of jnana, vairagya, nitya, nitya, vastu, viveka, all possible practices. In the end, what are you guys achieving? Trying to have the darshan of His feet. Come, we will show you the full form with which we are playing. With which we are playing. So understand, even the peak of the knowledge is beginning of bhakti. Even the head of the knowledge should be at the feet of the devotion. Just to prove that only, they say the whole Ganga is from the feet of Vishnu. Means, don't think that Vishnu and Shiva are two different things in this place. Here, the Vishnu and Shiva are not two different things. It's a two different expressions to emphasize the importance of bhakti. One more story you should understand. Suddenly, one day in Vaikunta, Vishnu says, I have a terrible headache. Have terrible headache, migraine. Usually this guy only gives migraine to others. He never gets. And suddenly he starts claiming that he has got headache. So all the people are struggling here and there, what to do, what medicine to give. Because the incident never had a precedence. You see, if already it happened at least once, you know what to do. It has never happened. Something new. Now what to do? These guys are running here and there for the medicine. And then they go and request Vishnu. Bhagavan, we don't know any medicines which you don't know. Only you have to now prescribe what we should do for the headache to be healed. Then that guy rolls on the bed this side and that side and makes a big drama. No, I have a terrible headache, I can't survive, I can't do this, I can't do that. Is there anybody to help me? Now all these rishis are standing there with their hands on the mouth. What to do? Finally he says, alright, get the feet dust of any of my real devotee and put it on my head. The headache will disappear. Get the feet dust of my real devotee. Put it on my head. The headache will disappear. All their eyes turn towards Narada. Narada just gets a shock. How can I put my feet dust on Vishnu's head? And it's a great sin. I'll go to the hell. How can I do this? The whole world will blame that I put my feet dust on Vishnu's head. It will be a papa, it will be a sin. The whole world will blame me. How can I do that? So what? He's rejected. All these people beg every rishi. Every rishi says, how can I do? I'm a great devotee. How can this happen? How can that happen? What will world say about me? What will the people speak about me? What will the journals of Devaloka will write about me? What will the media of Devaloka will say about me? All are afraid of me, media and journals. Everybody is afraid. What will happen to me? What will happen to me? I will be put in the hell. Because my feet dust is put on the Vishnu's head. So everybody is running this side and that side. And Vishnu is increasing the tune. He is rolling on the ground, rolling on the ocean. No, it is too much. I can't bear. Suddenly, one fellow remembers, let's go and ask Gopikas. Narada says, hey, we are here when we say we won't give. How dare the human beings will give? They will go to the worst hell. How can they give? How will they give? They said, all right, let us take chance. They ran towards the Vrindavan. The moment the Gopikas, they hear the news, they say, Arey, you fellows believing that you will take care of our beloved, we sent him to Vaikuntha. You fellows, what have you done to him? Why did he get the headache? We took care of him so nicely. What you have done to him? They said, we don't know what we have done. You fellows would have given a lot of trouble to him. All administration troubles. That is the reason he got the headache. When he was with us, we never troubled him. We never disturbed him. Even if we had trouble, we never went and complained. We only took care of him. We ensured, all of us ensured in every inch that all our activities making him happy. We did only things which will make him happy. We never gave him the administration headaches. You fellows would have taken all the accounts of the Devalokas, all the administration posting work of Vaikuntha, would have given all the troubles of all the lokas. That is why he got headache. Anyhow, now there is no time to speak. Tell us the cure, what has to be done? Devatas say politely, out of fear. He says, if the feet dust of the devotee is applied on his head, the headache may disappear, but nobody is ready to give. Gopika said, fools, that is what you idiots will do. We know you guys are only around him for the sake of hell or heaven, not for the sake of him. Immediately the one gopi just spreads his upper cloth. All the gopis jump on it. We don't know who is great devotee amongst us. Let all of us jump on it. Take the feet dust and apply on it. Apply on his forehead. There will be someone amongst us, a great devotee. His headache will be removed. There will be someone, at least someone. We don't know who is the devotee. We have no time to check all those things. Let's all jump. Take this feet dust. The Narada says, hey, don't you know you will go to the seventh hell? Fool. Who wants you to live in the place where you guys live? Let you people live in the heaven. We don't want to be there. You guys are here after listening the news that our beloved is having headache. Still you fellows are coming and doing logical analysis. Whether you will go to hell or heaven. If you idiots are going to be in heaven, we don't want to stay in that place. Still you fellows are doing logical analysis. What will the media say about me? What will the Vaikuntha speak about me? What will the... Which type of hell I will have? What punishment I will be given? Still you fools are talking. Even after knowing the solution, even after knowing the medicine. Enough, now stop talking, take this first. Finish. Then come back, we will talk later on. They bag the whole feet dust of the gopis and it is taken to the Vaikuntha, and the story says, still now he carries it on his head. Still now he carries it on his head. That is why the mantra of all the temples, all the temple pujas, it will start with the mantra of feet. They say the feet dust of the devotee will liberate anybody because it has liberated Bhagavan himself. That is why every temple, the first puja will be done only to the feet dust of devotee. If you see before entering into the temple, that the first step, on the first step, two persons will be lying down, lying pose. That two persons are the devotees who wants all the devotees' feet to touch on their head. The king who builds the temple, he engraves, he puts his statue at the entrance so that all the devotees' feet will be touching them and blessing them. So first puja will be done only to the feet dust. In any temple, if you go, the first thing they will wash the feet dust of all the devotees. And the puja will be done to the feet dust of devotees. Only then to the God. So they say the Vishnu's Mukuta, Vishnu's Krita is the feet dust of Radhas, is the Gopikas. It is the feet dust of Gopikas, is the Vishnu's Mukuta. That's why they say do the Vishnu's Mukuta with Vrindavan clay, not with the diamonds and jewels, because he wears the clay of the Vrindavan, not the diamonds and jewels. It is the feet dust of the devotee. It is the devotion that is given so much of importance in our tradition than any knowledge. All the knowledgeable guys, what will they be doing? They will start only doing research. Should I give? Should I give? Should I give? Here is a person, we don't know who is devotee. Let's all jump and send the dust. Let us do what will? He says in Shankara says, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamade. Samprapte sannihide kale nahi nahi rakshati tukkunj karane. I can tell one thing for sure. There is nobody who is more intellectual, more sharp than Shankara. Any religious philosophy, leave about religious philosophy, any philosophy on the planet Earth, they can take only two stands, accepting Shankara, rejecting Shankara, but they can't forget Shankara. They can be only classified as a two category. Accepting Shankara, rejecting Shankara, that's all. But you can't go beyond Shankara. No other intellectual jewel or the ultimate expression of intellect has happened on the planet Earth like Shankara. Shankara is the incomparable intellectual expression. The man who created world unabridged dictionary of world philosophies. The man who created unabridged dictionary of world philosophies. Philosophies which has happened, which is happening, which is yet to happen. If you just read that one single book, Brahma Sutra Sankara Bhashya, no more philosophies can be created. You will feel you are just a pygmy. Whatever philosophy is created, getting created, yet to be created. The whole thing he has given the gist, described every bit. I have not seen an intellectual expression like Shankara. Such an ultimate expression. Even to read the books which he has written, you need 10 lives. But he wrote the whole thing in 10 years. He wrote the whole thing in 10 years. He says, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamade, Samprapte sannihide kale nahi nahi rakshati tukkrunj karane. Means, fool, after teaching all his courses and programs, he tells his elderly disciples, fool, chant Bhaja Govinda, chant Bhaja Govinda, chant Bhaja Govinda. In the end of the life, when the Yama comes, Samprapte sannihide kale. When the end comes, nahi nahi rakshati tukkunj karane. Tukkunj karana is the grammar which you are supposed to learn all the scriptures and Sanskrit. Tukrunjkarana is the basic grammar. Unless you know that, you can't understand the Sanskrit language and the philosophy. All this intellectual knowledge. He says, Nahi nahi rakshati tukrunjkarane. The tukrunjkarana will not help you. The tukrunjkarana will not help you. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamade. He says, oh fools, chant the Bhaja Govinda again and again. That is the only way to reach the ultimate. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati tukrunjkarane. By philosophizing, intellectually analyzing, you will make any problem only little worse. Out of love and bliss, things can be just flooded away, filled. When a flood happens, everything will be leveled. When the flood of bliss happens, everything will be leveled. You will not know which is peak and which is valley. Same way, when a flood of bliss happens, you will not know which is problem, which is right and which is wrong. Everything will disappear into the one energy which we call eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Now I have to explain the fun part also. First thing, Ganga is energy. So when you add the Ganga water, the energy can help you to guide the soul towards higher energies, higher worlds. And moreover, Ganga water is like a cell phone. From wherever you have cell phone, you can contact the main, what do you call, relay center. Hub. A relay center. You can contact the relay center through cell phone. Any emergency. Like a 911 in America. Number 911. You can contact and the lab will immediately take the action. Just call 911. Whether it is a medical emergency or a fire emergency or anything. A thief or a burglar, anything. Just 911. Immediately it will be attended, taken care. Same way our rishis have created the 911 for everything. Ganga water is the 911 for everything. The moment you pour that, immediately a message comes here. And here they inform, one of our guys is coming, let him directly in. VIP pass is given and he reaches the higher locus, higher energy worlds. That's one thing. Next thing, by keeping that water for a long time, it will be ready to send anybody back up. If somebody is pulling and pushing, and it is like a mercy, just give parallel, all right. Why should you struggle? It is enough now. Live peacefully and in a blissful way. See, the Western countries, they call it euthanasia, mercy killing. Here they do that in a spiritual way. So that even after a mercy killing, you will not suffer and struggle. You will straight away be connected to the higher energies.